Can we talk about doilies? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello, welcome. My name is Kristen and I come at you every week or so and share what I've been making. Primarily knitting, we do a lot of sewing, quilting. Lately, there's been a heck of a lot of crochet, so if that is something that you're into, you're in a good place. Gather around, grab a cup of something, and let's get into things. And yes, if you've been tuning in, you might be aware that I've been doing a lot of traveling. My husband and I, we've been out and about. A couple weeks ago, we were in Barcelona, came back for a little bit, and then we went to Maine. And this is something that we don't usually do. We don't do a lot of back-to-back travel, but anyway, we had the opportunity to do so, so we did. We had a really great time, and I have to say, it feels so good to be back in my craft room, surrounded by all of my things, my tools, my, yarn, fabric. It's my happy place, and yeah, it's also where I get to sit down and chat with you guys. So yes. Very, very, very happy to be back. So anyway, I hope you are doing well wherever you are in the world. Yeah, I don't think I have any other housekeeping notes. So let's get into things, shall we? Marga the mannequin, this lovely lady behind me. What is she wearing? She is actually wearing a very special project. She's wearing my wedding shawl. So yes, Dennis and I got married 12 years ago. I cannot believe it's been that long, but here we are. And crazily enough, I decided to knit myself a wedding shawl. And I say crazily, is that even a word? I have no idea, but today it is. I say crazily because we got married in the month of June, which here in the Northern Hemisphere is summer. So the day we got married, it was hot. So I never ended up wearing this. And the pattern that I chose was from this book called Knitted Lace of Estonia, by Nancy Bush. And yeah, this was a very popular book when it came out. And yeah, it's, when did it come out? I think, let me see. So this was published in 2008. My husband and I got married in 2011. So yeah, a relatively new book when I knitted this shawl. But so many beautiful, gorgeous, guys, I feel like this is another book that needs to be in every knitter's library just because it's so, it's just a beautiful book. Lots of lace eye candy in here. But anyway, the shawl that I chose to knit from this book is Madely's shawl, and here it is. So yeah, it's just a rectangular lace stole, and I have to say, while I had been knitting for some time when I knit this project, and I was completely used to lace, I was fine and comfortable knitting lace, there were some techniques in here that I kind of had to wrap my brain around, including a provisional cast on. Anytime I saw provisional cast on in a pattern, I felt intimidated and kind of avoided it, but because I wanted this project so much, the FO, I hunkered down, guys. I learned how to do the provisional cast on, and so glad that I did because honestly, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. So yeah, the provisional cast on was a thing. An applied lace border was another one. So basically, you do a provisional cast on first, and then you knit the length of the shawl, and then you knit the edging. You knit one edging, and then you pick up the stitches from the provisional cast on and knit the other edging, if that makes sense. So all in all, it's not that scary, but for me, this was definitely a labor of love. And also, I will say noops. There are, noops and nips, neps. I always get confused with the word. Noops or neps, N-U-P-P-S. I think they're noops. But yeah, that was a new to me technique. And what noops are, they are basically tiny little baubles. They're not like full-on volume baubles. They're just little tiny clusters of stitches together, if you will. So while the noops aren't that complicated to execute, it did tack on a bunch of time to the project. So I want to say this project may have taken me about like 3 months total to knit in between, you know, planning the wedding, and then also I had a 9-to-5 job at the time, you know, so finding little pockets of time to work on this. I will say, even though I did not end up wearing this shawl on the day of my wedding, it was just a nice kind of grounding project to, you know, zen out in between, you know, the stress of work, planning the wedding and everything. It was just a nice little thing to come to at the end of the day, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's my wedding shawl, Madly Shawl by Nancy Bush. And I also want to say that I did add some beads to the edging as well. So, you know, just add a little extra something special. And the yarn, I should mention, is actually Knit Picks. It's their alpaca lace cloud. So lace weight yarn, alpaca fiber content, in the oyster heather colorway, I believe. They still make it, I think. Anyway, I'll link to it down below. All of the things that I mentioned in this episode will be linked down below in the description box to make it easy for you to check things out that I talk about. So yes, that is what Morgan the Mannequin is wearing. Moving along, let's talk WIPs. I do actually have some FOs that I want to share with you that I'm really excited to talk about. But before I do want to catch you up on my WIPs. I'm not going to get too much into them because there's not much to write home about, but I am making quite a bit of progress, especially on my Kismet pullover, a beautiful pattern by Rachel Illsley. I know I'm pretty sure I mispronounced her name last week, and I sincerely apologize. If you've been tuning in, you know that I am the queen of butchering names, and to that I, again, sincerely apologize. But anyway, I hope I got her name right this week. Rachel Illsley, the Kismet sweater. And yeah, we are on the here's one sleeve, and we are currently on the second sleeve. I knit the color work of the second sleeve on the way up to Maine. It was a 6-hour drive. So like the flight back from Barcelona to and from, that was, you know, you're kind of held hostage in your seat there. Same situation driving up to Maine. So the goal was to finish the color work on the second sleeve. And I barely made it. I think I made it to about this part right here. And then we arrived, and then I worked on the rest while I was there, on and off. And yeah, now we're just knitting around and around and around. We're on autopilot, and I'm pretty sure the next time I chat with you, I will have a finished Kismet sweater. And yeah, again, just in time for summer. But yeah, clearly I'm not going to wear this in the summer, but you know, this will be waiting for me when the weather does turn cool again. And yeah, cannot wait. So yeah, the yarn, again, my hand-dyed yarns, Voolenvine yarns, in my Nouveau base, single ply, fingering, 100% superwash merino in 4 different colorways. We have Grim over here is the main color. It's a shaded black. And then up here we have Poe, which is a purplish light gray. And then we have Weep, which is a cooler, darker gray. And then Laudanum, which is this kind of like rusty orange, if you will. But truly enjoying this pattern. And again, so well written. She explains everything. Everything's like charted out. There's a lot of information in the pattern, but she breaks all of that information down and organizes it within the pattern to make it easy to digest, if that makes sense. So yeah, that is where I am with my Kismet. And when I returned, again, I don't know what is in the water. Maybe it's because I've been away from my craft room for so long, but I came back and just felt the need to make all the things. So I've been putting an even bigger dent in my Primrose quilt. What is it? My Montana Primrose quilt by Laundry Basket Quilts. And my friends, the triangle stack groweth. It is getting taller. And oh my goodness, I cannot get enough of this pattern, guys. Yeah, again, it's just made up of all these different types of triangles, all the same size, but each triangle is constructed differently. And I think that's what makes it very potato chippy for me. So it's just like one more triangle. So here is another triangle. Did I show you this one? So yeah, again, I've lost count of how many different types of triangles I've made. Again, like I'll link to the fabric and where you can find it down below, but I purchased the kit. So on laundrybasketquilts.com, she offers a kit with all the fat quarter bundles that you need. Here's another, just a basic triangle that's part of the pattern. And then there are also templates that you can purchase too. I purchased the templates to make cutting easy for me. The pattern itself comes with paper templates, but just for accuracy's sake, I picked up the accompanying acrylic templates. So here's another one. I showed you these on the last episode, but I'm trying to find the ones that I worked on when I returned. I think I made 3 different types of triangles since I've gotten back. So yeah, there's another one. This one's really pretty. So you can see that each one is just made up of different shapes, and yeah, they come together in the same size triangle. It's pretty brilliant. Here's another one. I think I have about maybe three more different triangle blocks to make. And I will say, if you recall from the last episode, in the last episode, I mentioned that I did hit a roadblock when it came to constructing one of the triangles. So it's a little more involved, where you have to sew strips of fabric together and then lay the template on top and cutting it out from there. However, the strips, the way that they were, the size of the strips sewn together was not matching the size of the template. And a lovely viewer, I'm so sorry, as usual, I'm blanking on names here, but I believe you contacted me on Ravelry, and the best way to get in touch with me is via my email, which is hello@kristinlair.com. I'll link to it here and down below. But yeah, 9 out of 10, if you email me or contact me on Ravelry or Instagram, chances are I get so many messages, guys, that there's a greater chance of me missing it. So if you would like to get in touch, email is always the best way. So, again, I apologize, I have to write you back. But in their message, the viewer said, if you are cutting out these strips and the template isn't matching up, try cutting a scant 1/4 inch as opposed to an actual 1/4 inch, because, a scant is just a little bit larger than an actual 1/4 inch. So, I still kind of have to wrap my brain around that and figure out what that means exactly. But I am going to be practicing on some scrap fabric before I proceed with those particular triangles. So thank you so much again for that lovely message. I will get back to you when I can. But yes, very helpful. So that said, I did go ahead and panic order some more fat quarters to remake that particular triangle. Thankfully, it was only fat quarters that I had to replace, not yardage. So that was a relief. But I will say that the website that I ordered from, they offered free shipping if you purchased $50 or more, so could not help myself. I treated myself to more fabric. Yeah, what? Can you blame me? Can you blame me? So anyway, yeah. So that's my Montana Primrose quilt, and that is intended to become a wall hanging for our dining room. Because again, we're still trying to figure out the wall hanging situation in our house and decorating and everything. I feel like between you, me, and the wall, I feel like my craft room is the most decorated room in our entire house, because, well, that and the sunroom, because those are the 2 rooms that I spend the most time in, if you will, personally. But when it comes to the common areas where Dennis and I share spaces, we definitely have differing tastes, so we tend to butt our heads when it comes to decor. So it's a slow going process. We're just going with it and decorating as it comes. But I think for the living room, we kind of settled randomly. This is so random, I don't know how we came to this, but we kind of settled on a palm tree theme. I'm not sure how that came about, but it seems we've been drawn to a lot of palm tree themed things. So anytime we go to Home Goods or travel, we're always on the lookout for palm tree things. So yeah, lots of palm trees in our future, I foresee. But anyway, having a lot of fun with that. Moving along, let's talk FOs, because I don't have one. No, my friends, I have two FOs to share with you. And if you've been following me on Instagram, you might have seen me post photos of them. And yeah, my friends, can we talk about doilies? Because I'm addicted. I am so addicted to crocheting doilies that, yeah, I can't stop, won't stop. And as I mentioned in my last video, I have Nora Ling to blame, because she posted a photo of her doily, and I was like, I want to hop on that bandwagon, and so I did. And here is a finished doily, and oh my goodness, guys, this was so much fun to make. Like a good book, I could just not put it down. And this is the Tidesage doily by Julia Hart. And yeah, I mean, it looks super complicated, but truly it is made up of very simple basic crochet stitches. Lots of single crochet, double crochet. If you're in the UK, it's probably double and treble crochet. Lots of chain stitches. And yeah, there is one section in here, this part up here, I will say, where you do a back post double crochet. And honestly, it's a piece of cake. Piece of cake. Yeah, and I want to say I completed this, you know, in between, you know, like working and, you know, downtime and stuff. I was able to finish this within like 4 or 5 days. Yeah, and this sits on our dining room table as a centerpiece. It has like all my little pumpkins on it. And yeah, I got pumpkins because, you know, when we moved in here, it was around autumn, Halloween, and went to Home Goods, found these little pumpkins, and they've been sitting on our dining room table ever since, because clearly in my world, every day is Halloween. Yeah. It's just a fact. So now this sits underneath the pumpkins and it just looks so nice. So, you know, our dining room decor is coming together really, really nicely. So when it came to blocking, I did soak it for about 10 minutes in lukewarm water and then blocked it aggressively on a blocking mat with T-pins. And then while it was still wet, I sprayed it with some ironing starch. So that's why it has like a very nice structure to it. It's not stiff. Obviously, you can see it has a very nice drape to it, but it definitely has a nice structure and enables these little points at the edge to kind of stick out. But yeah, just a really, really beautiful, easy breezy pattern. As for crochet thread, I used Aunt Lydia's size 10 in the ecru colorway, so it's like an off-white antique white, if you will. And for the crochet hook, I used a very fine 1.65 millimeter needle, I think. So yeah, that was that project. And then, my friends, on the way back up, or I should say on the way down from Maine, I decided to mix things up. Instead of working around and around and around on my Kismet sleeve, I decided to cast on a new doily. And I will say this one is definitely less involved than the Tidesage. And this is Summer Splendor. I finished it. It is a pattern by Denise Augustine Owens, and this is a free pattern, I should say. It was published about 10 years ago, and unfortunately there's no like PDF download of it. So if you go to the Ravelry page, I will link to it down below. It's going to take you to a page with an incredibly busy background, a very dark, busy, patterned background, and you can't even read the text on it. So what you can do is just highlight the text, copy and paste it into a Word document or whatever text document app that you have on your computer, and then you'll be able to read the pattern instructions. But the reason for that is because I believe it's an older blog that's no longer being published, but the Wayback Machine, if you're not familiar with what the Wayback Machine is, it's a website that takes snapshots of websites and archives them. So this blog was basically archived, and that's what's left of it. So that is probably why you cannot read the text. So if you are planning to make this pattern, just know that when you go to the site, all you have to do is copy and paste the text into a new Word document or, you know, text app, if you will. So yeah, but I will say this pattern was so easy to whip up, so easy and quick and perfect for the ride home, because again, you know, stuck in a car for 6 hours, what you gonna do? What you gonna do with your life? Make doilies, apparently. This one was just a cast on and go, fly off the hook situation. So yeah, and I blocked it the same way I blocked the Tidesage. The yarn, or thread I should say, is also Aunt Lydia's size 10 in the Wasabi colorway. And yeah, it's lime green. Very much out of my comfort zone, but I saw this color and I was like, I just want to have fun. So got that. And my plan for this pattern, or this finished object, is to convert it into a pillow. Yeah. I don't know why, but I just foresee this being a throw pillow. So I'm just gonna scoot this stuff over here. I went to my local yarn/fabric store, Nimble Thimble, picked up some of this linen type fabric. I'll hold it there. Yeah, I was picking out some lime green thread, and then right next to it, as luck would have it, was this fabric, and I was like, that would be absolutely perfect. So this is going to be the background of the pillow, and this is going to be laying over it like so. And what I really love about neutrals and neons is that, you know, again, I am a total neutral freak. I love like muted, soft tones, soft and dark tones. But my heart does love a little pop of color here and there. Case in point. When I work with neon colors or like bright shades, I love to tone them down a little bit with a neutral shade. And this neutral shade linen, I feel like is just going to be the perfect combo between this lime green and but to make things extra fun, I went on Amazon. Are you ready for this? Pom-pom trim to put around it. So this is gonna be a round pillow, and then once it's all sewn together, I'm gonna tack on some lime green pom-poms to go around it. And to top things off, as if this pillow couldn't be any more elegant or elaborate or crazy, actually a member of this channel suggested that I back the back of the pillow with Liberty fabric. I mean, why not? Why not? We've come this far. Let's take things to the next level. So thank you so much for that suggestion. I'm kind of taking a browse on a website, duckadilly.com, they actually have some really beautiful neon Liberty prints that I think would complement this project so well. So anyway, I do plan to vlog making the pillow. I don't have a pattern that I'm following, so I'm going to be doing a little mathing, a little planning before I actually cut into the fabric, but that is the goal. That is the goal for this project. And I'm thinking I might make a second. Because this was so quick and enjoyable. So anyway, yeah. I'm obsessed. I'm really loving making doilies. So Nora, again, if you're watching, thank you for helping popping my doily cherry, if you will. Oh goodness. So anyway, yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I think that is all that I have to share with you this week, my friends. So thank you so much, as always, for hanging out with me. If you're new here, again, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you made it this far but haven't already, feel free to like and subscribe down below. I'm putting out videos for your viewing pleasure on a regular basis. If you would like to support this channel and support the work that I do here, you can always do that by becoming a member. Just click the join button down below. And as I always say, for a fancy schmancy cup of joe, you can unlock some bonus features, including it used to be called the Monday Waffle. Now they're just called mini waffles because I sprinkle in these very casual bonus vlogs throughout the week where I just share what I'm up to, life-wise, craft-wise, just little check-ins to let you know what I'm working on and stuff, what's going on and up in here, and the like. So, all right, enough rambling. Thank you so much again, and until the next video, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.